Triumph Motorcycles has seen good success in India and the Daytona 675 has spearheaded the sales. This triple-cylinder supersport has very few competitors and is purely track-bred. Varun, who joins us today, has clocked over 11,000 kilometers on his Daytona. He uses it mostly for touring and the occasional city commute. Hey Varun, it's good to have you here. How are you?
Hi Swati, I'm good. I hope everything is good at your end.
Yeah, it is.
So well, it's a good opportunity that I'm here to let everybody know about how my bike is and how it's performing and what are the reviews about the bike, what I personally feel about the bike. So it's nice to come here and let you know about all these things about the bike.
Okay. Well, the Daytona is one of the best machines of Triumph. So what made you choose this bike and how has the experience been so far?
So Swati, let me just give you a brief about the bike. The bike is completely out of the box. It is track ready. You can ride it on the streets. It's completely amazing, to have something like this. I think the Britishers have built something crazy. It's amazing. So also tell you that, I saw a comparison of a few bikes before picking this up. I saw the Z800, I saw the Street Triple. But I just wanted to have a bike which is track ready and it's like a complete super bike, So this is like a complete package. It's a very nimble bike, does well wherever you take it, and it's amazing. So I've clocked like 11,000 kilometers now on the bike in a year and a half. So that's like, I didn't feel, 11,500 kilometers was just nothing on the bike. It was just crazy. So I keep riding every weekend otherwise, but taking it out for long rides, I took this bike to Pondicherry just by myself, and well, it just performed, if it was on the street or it was too much fun to have this around. And taking it to the track a couple of times, it's madness on the track. There's nothing that is better than this on the track.
Well, the Daytona is a pure sports bike with a lot of racing pedigree. Our viewers would love to know how your experience has been in terms of handling, braking and overall performance.
Yes, Swati. So like everybody knows, the Triumph Daytona is a complete package. It's just ready for the track, it's ready for the streets. It's got a very good handling, With the inline 3, it performs really, really well, So talking about it, like about the aspects of the bike, if you're just riding in the city, it performs different, and when you ride it on the highway, it's completely different. And if you go on the track, there's a lot of difference in riding on the track. So when I'm riding in the city, it's just there, you don't have to, really push the bike or something of that sort. It's just there, And when you're on the highways and you just completely whack open the throttle on the bike, it just performs. It's there, It's got everything in it. And when you're track, I think there's nothing else which is beautiful than this on the track, It's just crazy. It's just lovely. It handles, crazily. It's got everything into it, And the inline 3 makes it, the sound of the bike is just lovely. I don't think you need another exhaust on this bike at all, And comparing it to the R, I would say, this bike has a different, it's got some changes onto the R and the non-R, It's got the Olin suspension, some carbon fiber parts on the bike, It's a little, it's got a lesser weight compared to this, somewhere around some 5 kgs or that's what I've heard. So that's the only difference between the R and the non-R. But I think, this bike is completely track ready. So yeah, it's like a complete package and I'm happy about it. And when we ride, it gives in the city, it gives me around, it gives me like 16 odd kilometers per liter in the city. And the highway and on the track, it's completely different, So on the highway, it gives us about 20, 21 odd. And on the track, it's just lovely. You don't need to see the mileage there on the track at all. So. But the sound of the bike is performing is completely crazy. The braking's got a Nissan calipers with Brembo disc brakes that does their job. You don't need anything else more than this. That's what I would want to say about the bike. It's lovely.
Well, let's talk about maintenance now. What are the running and service costs of Daytona and are you happy with the service provided by the company?
Yeah, so about the maintenance of the bike, when I got the bike first in before, for the run-in, for 800 kilometers to 1000 kilometers was our first run in. So after that you spend about 7 to 8,000 rupees on the bike, on the maintenance of the bike. And after that it's like for every 10,000 kilometers you get it serviced once, which is a good thing, 10,000 kilometers and clocking on the bike and then you have to service it after that is a very good thing otherwise on the bike. And you end up spending 10,000 rupees on every service. So as soon as you finish clocking more kilometers on the bike, and then you've got a different price range for that. If you completed 25,000 kilometers after that on the bike, it comes up to around 15,000, because you've got to change the air filters, you've got to change the brake pads on the bike. So it depends on how you basically ride your bike, how aggressive you are on the bike. So it makes a difference on how a rider is riding his bike as well. Also, what I would say is that otherwise is that just the parts are available in the market, but it just takes that these guys get it from UK. They're supposed to have a permission given. Like they have to get that stock back to Delhi and then they ship it out. So that's a little tedious process on that matter. It takes some time for parts to get back to you. So it's like a month of waiting to get every part you want. If something is broken, that's also you get it in a month. So that way it is okay, but you have to wait when you have something like this. Yeah, so coming up to the service of the bike at the service center, it's not bad, it's okay, but when it's Triumph, you expect more out of it than what it is at present. Sure. I would just think that they should pay more attention to your bike and there's more transparency in the service, that way. That's the only thing that anybody would expect when you're owning something, you're spending so much on a bike, then you at least expect that to happen more often, so that whatever it is, it's just kept in front of you rather than not knowing completely. So that's what I would say. We expect a little bit more out of the Triumph, the service center right here.
Well, finally, do you suggest any changes or modifications to make the bike any better?
Yes, Swati. So like I said, this bike is completely ready, so you don't actually need to add anything additional to the bike. But everybody wants to have something unique on their bike, so people go in for the new different exhaust systems for their bike, Some people who are really completely track oriented want to have an aero exhaust on the bike, they have a complete system, aero system or an acropovic something, which is what they want to have more performance out of the bike. So well, for me, it didn't really matter a lot. The only thing I wanted to add, which I didn't have apart from what the R has, was the quick shifter. So I got the quick shifter added onto the bike, and I've got some fork protectors on the bike like you can see, and I've got some frame sliders on the bike, and I've got some racing spools, so that just makes the job easy when you want to clean your chain, lube it, so it just makes your life a little bit easier. But I don't think you really need something else to be added onto the bike.
Well, Varun, it was great to have you here. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Swati. Thank you for having me here for that matter. I would like to, I hope that, it helps out people, who are really looking for a super bike, and it really, this should be a proper review for them so that, maybe they can see more Daytonas on the street now. Thank you for having me here, Swati.
Well, that's what the Daytona 675 is all about. A super sport that adapts well to your needs. Thank you for watching. Please share your comments and questions below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.